to you, talk about the structure,
Sure.
and then take them through it on the pitch. So our third, middle third, their third, and the different approaches to it. And we'll run it through on the pitch and put them in a situation and say, right, you're in your 22, scrum here, what are you going to do? And we'll talk through the options. So a lot of it will be at walking pace or stood. We'll go into a game so that we can emphasise how we work on that middle third. So the middle third, we're going from touchline to touchline, play a game that gets them going touchline to touchline, get that in their heads, and then we'll play another game, we'll modify that game and then talk about the last third, getting over the game line, keeping possession. So I'll just vary the games and the conditions so that we're imagining.
Sounds good. Sounds good to me.
Carry on with that.
Yep, that sounds good. Sounds good.
Tonight, Jack, we've got an hour tonight. That's all, because there's a lot of people training on this pitch. So we want to get through the session as quickly as possible. When we call you in, let's jog in and let's get on with it, okay? So, to start off with, I just want to warm you up. We're going to play a game. I've marked out a pitch. This is one scoring zone here behind me. That's the other scoring zone there, okay? It's rugby netball, okay? Bibs, shirts, and that's all the rules I'm going to give you for now. There might be, listen before you go, there might be different teams for different rules, different rules for different teams, okay? Off you go. Come.
Can't run with it.
Turn over.
Grab it, quick, get it. Good calling. Nice.
Try there. One. Turn over. Think about what you're doing. Shirt ball from there.
You know what we're doing?
Shirt over shirts. Think. Jack. Go in, close. Josh. Turn over. Turn over. Okay, come in.
Yeah. Right, are we on?
Quickly.
Come on guys, jog in.
Jog. Okay, what have we got then? Blues. Tell me what rules you've got you picked out of that. You can't move with the ball, correct. That's one. Shirts. Can't drop the ball. Is that for both?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
No contact.
No. That's not one yet. We haven't pinged you for that. Anybody else? Oh, did you? Right, okay. Carry on then. So blues going that way, shirts coming this way, shirts ball.
Jack, short.
Turn over.
Yeah, kick!
Hit! Open! Move for him! The ball! Jack! Turn over!
Top! Yeah, Jack! Left, Jack, through, there! Jack, back!
Turn over! Jack, how many times have you done that?
Twice.
How many times have you been? Maybe don't do it again then.
Get on my way.
Turn over!
Jack! Right! Go that way, Jack! Yeah, Tom!
Going that way! Turn over!
Jack!
Get touched with the ball.
Don't take too long with the ball.
Okay, in you come. Okay, we're catching up now. What's the other rule for blues, bibs? Sorry, not for bibs, for shirts. What happened there, Jack?
I touched them in there.
Yeah, so what do you think that rule is for you, shirts? Don't get touched. Is it the same for bibs?
No.
Not yet. Okay, alright. Okay, shirts ball.
Yeah, left, Jack, left.
Alex, right way.
Turn over. Come on, boys, quick.
Jack! Jack, yes! Jack!
Kick.
Turn over.
Ben!
Jack, left, turn over. Just make sure you've got...
Yeah, I've developed them up.
Okay. Come!
Come on, boys, do the
Oh, yes.
He's all right. Good. Come on, boys. Okay, in you come, in you come. Handley, everybody in quickly. Let's start stretching, please. Let's start with the calves and the ankles. Then take them for a stretch, please. Get their ankles warm with the calves. While you're stretching, Blues, Bibs, just tell me what your rules are, please, Bibs. You're going to tell your teammates who are joining you haven't got a clue what's going on, what's going on. So, what are the rules, Josh, for Blues?
We can touch to turn over the
Louder.
other team.
Sorry?
We can touch to turn over the other team.
Yeah. Blues can't run with the ball, right? What happens if you get touched? Nothing at the moment, okay? Blues can't run with the ball. Can you pass over head height? Blues? Yes. Okay. Shirts. What's your rules, Ben?
Can't get touch with the ball.
Can't get touched with the ball, so Blues, you can touch them and it'll be a turnover. No overhead height. Are you allowed to move with the ball? Jack? Well, you haven't been moving, have you then? Some of your team have. You're allowed to run with the ball, okay? So you've all sussed out what the rules are? Okay? We'll start down there, off you go, Blues.
Yeah, Will! Yeah, Will! Will! Yes, Sam!
Turn over. You're moving, Sam. Can't move with the ball.
right. Great ball, Ollie, great ball. Right, never been away, Ollie.
Turn over.
Put it into a chat.
No, either there or there.
Where?
This one or that
Try
one.
there.
Right, okay.
Turn and burn. Turn over. Try there. Turn and burn. Come. Turn over.
No, we were going that way.
Turn over. Loose ball.
No, Jack, we're going that way.
Loose ball from there. Loose ball.
Will!
Come on, Blues, get into space. Help him. Seb, you're walking.
Play it.
Play it.
Yes, Cam! Cam!
Okay, here you come. Okay, fit and stretch off quads and hamstrings, please. Okay, we'll have one more go at this, and this time we're going to change the rules around so that Bibs now, you can move with the ball, can't pass over head height, and you can only, and if you get caught, touched, it's a turnover. Shirts, you can't move with the ball. You can pass over head height, you can pass long passes, and if you get caught with the ball, nothing happens. Okay? You're doing calves again, are you, boys? Hamstrings and quads. We'll cup it, Will Hanley then. Will's got it. Take him through it, Will.
Got 1 foot out, like straight. Yes, foot heel and down. That's what it is. Foot pointing. Alright.
Good up now. Oh yeah.
Boys, while you're stretching, we're probably going to be moving up to Harrogate town next week. Okay, and we'll be starting a little bit later. It might be a bit of a rush for some of you to get here for 7 o'clock. The Harrogate town is going to be 8 o'clock till 9 o'clock. You listening, boys? 8 o'clock till 9 o'clock, so that should not be a rush. So there's no excuse. Let's get down on time. Let's make sure we're all ready. We get the pitch for an hour and we want to use it for an hour. So actually you want to get down a bit earlier, warm up yourselves, and then we can get straight on the pitch at 8 o'clock and we get a full hour on the pitch, yeah? Okay. All stretched off. Last one then, swap the rules round. Here we go.
Get Josh, come on! Jack!
Oh, go overhead.
Turn over.
You said that we were swapping the rules around.
You've dropped it.
No, Will!
Will!
Fuck, who's it, Will? Oh, what are you doing?
Yes, kick it.
Jack! Jack! Josh! Yeah, Josh!
Shirts, what can you do to turn the ball over? Turn over. Turn over. Shirts ball.
Alex!
Try there. One.
Alex!
Turn over.
Jack, you're such an idiot.
Play on, play on. Turn over. Shirts ball. Turn over. Let Will play it. Turn over.
Alex!
Yeah, Ben.
Ben, do it, shit!
Will! Okay. In you come then, guys.
Boys, come on, listen up. Come in.
In you come,
Been
man.
told to come in.
In you come.
Come in.
Right, okay. How much stuff have we done as a team in terms of how we're doing? Sorry? Not a lot. Yeah, that's a fair comment. Yeah? Okay, so we're going to try and address that over the next few weeks. So what we're going to try and do for you boys is to give you a bit of structure so that when you turn up on a match day, we've all got an idea of what we should be doing, okay? Now that's not going to happen overnight. It's going to happen over the next few training sessions. The game on Sunday has been cancelled, so we've got another training session and we can carry on with what we're going to introduce tonight, okay? So tonight and the next few weeks in training is just about introducing a team structure, all right? Okay, so I want you to imagine you're on the pitch. We divide it into 3 parts, okay? So you've got the first third, which is from just outside our 22 to the try line. That's our first third. You've got the middle third and then the attacking third, which is what I would call the scoring zone, okay? If you're in your own third, our third, what do you want to do? Ben? Sorry?
Get rid of the ball.
What do you mean by get rid of the ball?
Get it out of our third.
Get the ball away from our third. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, Josh. Okay. The kick is getting the ball away from our third. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's an option. So, if you're getting out of our third, what options have we got for getting out of the third? Archie, what options have we got as a team to get out of our third? Kick is one. Yeah. And what sort of kick can we do? Kick?
Clearance kick into touch.
So kick to touch. Yeah. Will, any other kinds of kicks?
I'll do it, mate. All right.
Long. A long kick. It's a good answer. Don't look so unsure of yourself.
Yes,
All right. So we can kick to clear our lines and relieve pressure, can't we? So all that we're doing in that first third is we're trying to relieve pressure. Can we do anything else other than kick to relieve pressure? Run it. When would you run it, Alex?
Just when the ball, when a centre or a wing gets to the ball and they can run past.
Right. Okay. Yeah, go on.
When there's an overlap.
When there's an overlap, great opportunity to run it. What else? What else might you want to run it?
There's a space in the line.
Sorry?
There's a space in the line.
Yeah, okay, so let's say there's holes and gaps to get in. Yeah, great time to run it. Any other time? Archie, what would you do if you were lining up against a front row forward? Would you want the ball? Yeah, front row forwards, they're the big fellas that aren't particularly fast.
Yeah.
Sorry, Jack. Yeah, so if there's a mismatch as well, okay, so that first third is all about, for us, clearing our lines, okay? And we're going to put you in situations later on a makeshift pitch. We can't use the full pitch tonight, unfortunately. We'll put you in situations, we'll give you a scrum 5 metres out and we'll ask you what your options are, okay? Right, the middle third, what's the middle third all about? Sorry, Jack?
Getting the ball into the attacking
Yeah, good answer. Getting the ball into the attacking third. How are we going to do that? Are we going to kick it in there?
Keep the ball.
Brilliant, Jack. We're going to keep it, aren't we? So our third, we can kick the ball to relieve pressure. Middle third, we're not really likely to kick, are we? If we want to get the ball into the scoring third. So how are we going to get it into that scoring third? What do we have to do?
Pass out to the wing.
Sorry, Jack?
Get out to the wing.
Get it out to the wings might be one way, yeah? I think the main thing for me is whatever we do, we've got to play with a bit of pace and intensity, haven't we? Make it difficult for them, okay? For us as a side, I think we can introduce a structure so that we all know what we're going to do. And that would be, for me, that whenever we take contact, we look to keep going the same way, all right? And we're exhausting the space. So when we run out of space, so we get to a touchline, we've got to come back, okay? And if we set that in our minds as a team, everybody knows where they need to be for the next phase, okay? And that's the middle third. So playing with a bit more pace and intensity, we're going the same way. If you want to change it, which you might want to, then for the time being, we'll give that responsibility to the fly half. Okay, Kit? So you can change direction. So instead of you go in the same way and you see that there's a gap on the blind side, you can change direction. What are you going to need to do to change direction?
Communicate with scrum half.
Right, brilliant. Okay. All right, so that's your middle third, and we're going to run it. We're going to set up a game, and we're going to go through a scenario where we keep going the same way, and the scrum half, and the fly half, can then change it. And then what about your final third? I've already given the game away there. What did I call it? Tom? No.
Scoring third.
The scoring zone. So what's the purpose of that final third?
Try and score.
We want to come away with points, don't we? Yeah? So, again, are we going to kick it in that final third?
Maybe a crossfield kick.
Sorry? Kick?
Maybe a crossfield kick, but generally not.
Why would you kick a crossfield kick?
Well, if there's space out for the winger
Yeah.
to chase into the ball, then do it.
And generally, what's going to happen if you are successful with that crossfield kick? What's the
Yeah, you
intention?
can score.
Score. So we can kick to score. Should we be kicking in any other circumstance? What happens when you kick? Yeah. Okay, so we go in that final third. All we're interested in is really looking after this. All right. We want to keep it in that middle third, but we really want to keep it now. We're just about to score. Okay. That final third. And again, we'll run through a game and talk about how we can do that. So in the final third, are we going to be throwing the ball about, or are we going to be a little bit more direct? What do you think, Ollie?
More direct.
More direct, absolutely, yeah.
What do the forwards think more direct means? For the forwards that are here? Getting over the ball, yeah. What else do you need to do?
Running
forwards
straight.
need to do? Sorry, Jim?
Running straight.
Running straight,
Brilliant.
great. On your own, do you run straight on your own as forward?
Support.
Support all together, yeah. Playing those phases so we keep in position.
Okay, great stuff. Anything else, Nathan? No. Boys, are you happy with that, or has anybody else got anything to contribute? Anything that anybody think differently? Yeah, and you're quite welcome to. It's only one way of playing the game. There's loads of ways of playing it. Yeah. Okay, so Ben, what have we said we're going to do in our third?
Get rid of the ball.
Great. So we're going to relieve pressure by getting rid of the ball. It might not necessarily be kick it. We might run it. Yeah, depending on what's in front of us. Alex, what are we going to do in that middle third?
Just crash ball.
That middle third, what do we need to play with? Pace and intensity. And we want to keep the ball. And we've said, Will, what have we said about our structure in that middle third? Sorry? It's only a few minutes ago, boys. Come on.
What exactly are we going to do?
Keep the ball in hand. How do you know where to go after the next phase? How do we know in that middle third?
Communication.
Yeah, we don't even have to communicate because we've just said, as a team, we're going to do one thing. We're going to keep going the same way, aren't we? Yeah? So already, you don't even really, you're right, we do need to communicate, but actually if you don't communicate, you still know where you're going to go. Okay? And that's quite key. So we play that way, so everybody knows where we're going. When we get to a touchline, we come back again. Unless what? Cameron?
I'm not sure.
Is anybody listening? Unless the fly half makes a decision, Kit, to change direction, yeah?
I think once you play it, lads, you'll see it's quite simple. You don't have to memorise this, it'll become instinctual. The idea being that it's just there, and we know, middle third, we know exactly where the ball's going to be. So the forwards know exactly where they have to be, where we're targeting to, where we're running to. And even if the opposition know it, if we're all there first, and we set it up well, there's no chance they can defend against it. So it's keeping it really simple. You'll get used to it, but it's a pattern of play that we can plug and play players in, we can tweak, and we can amend. So commit to this training session now with enthusiasm, yeah, and try and take it on board and see how we get on, because I think it will improve our game and our enjoyment at no end.
Okay.
Right?
Thanks, Nathan. What we'll do now then, boys, is we'll put you in game situation, right? We're going to forget the first third. We're going to concentrate on the middle third now, okay? Will, can you take your bib off and swap with George? I want you to play fly half for the shirts. Alex, I want you to play scrum half for the shirts, okay? So every breakdown, your fly half, your scrum half, okay? All right? We're going to play a game of touch. We're going to use the width of the pitch to the posts. So that's, we go right, forget those cones, they're not on the touch line. We're going right to the touch line, boys, okay? Up to these cones. Guys, don't go anywhere. We're going to play, one try line is the try line. The other try line will move out to the 10. I'll move those cones back, okay? Shirts can attack that way. Fly half for the shirts, Kit. Scrum half, Jack. Okay? Two-handed touch below the waist. If you get touched, I want the ball long presented on the floor, and then the scrum half moves it away. Okay? And we are assuming we're in the middle third for the purposes of this game. 6 touches. No, in fact, unlimited touches. Okay?
Can we organise a team?
Non-contested runs.
Non-contested runs.
You have to touch it to learn play.
Off you go, Will. Game on. Will. Touch there. Come back. Ollie, look after the ball. Touch there. My half there.
Oh, it's mobile.
Touch there.
Right.
That's great. Turn it over. Right.
People would come.
Touch there.
Ready, go. Ready, up.
Touch there. We're saying that this is the middle third. What should we be doing?
Playing with speed.
Playing with speed, yeah. What else? What's the structure? What's the structure?
Yes, shout it.
Right, so we should be going the same way. We went that way, we went back that way, and we went back that way again. Okay? Same with you boys. So let's get into our heads. You're playing fly half, you've just got to go to the next breakdown, right? And Jack, you've got to get on the ball. Same with you, Alex, you get on the ball, which you did do, and Will,
you've got to go to the next breakdown. Same way, all the time. All the time.
It's like we get this way.
Yeah, what do you do when you get to the touchline? Yeah. Okay, that's all we're trying to do. We just want this structure in place.
So over there we had 3 blues who'd passed the ball, Kit had got it, and it was 1-on-1. Those 3 guys who'd passed the ball, you know it's coming this way, so get your asses in gear and run and get the far side of Kit. So look for him, yeah? And if he sees you dawdling, he's got full permission to scream at you, kick you, hoof you, whatever. Get yourself around there, pile in, we're piling into that side, all right? So put some bodies in.
Okay, off you go then, Shirt.
Get there. The line.
Let's go.
Pressure.
Right.
Don't need anyone over yet. Don't need anyone over. Come away. Turn over.
Got space.
Good lad, Jack. Well organised. Tackle there.
Shout where you want.
Same way. Good. Yes. Same way. Same way, kid. Turn over. What's this? Come on, man. Over the line.
Go down. Right, Will, I want to hear you. Where are you, Will? Hear me.
Come on, Alex. Yeah. Like it. Okay. Tackle there. Tackle there. Play that way. There you go. Run. Pile in until it says otherwise. Tackle there. Right. Now we've gone too far, haven't we?
Go right.
Inside. Right, kid, where are we going? Right, Josh, get moving. Get moving. You're going to go that way. Outside kid. Right, get in line, like a man. Sam, you've got him, you've got Ollie. Take it in. Tackle. Right, keep going. Down. Tackle. Stop. Ready. Go in if you have to. Right, Pauline, move! Cameron, go! That's it. Take it in, we're still going there. Ollie, you're down on the wing. Ready! Your positions. Tackle there. One more. You're back. Now you're running. Come back, can't you? Take it in if you want. Take it in. Tackle there! Right. Ready! Right, you ready? Back inside! Take it in! Right, take it in! Tackle! That's it! Long protect, Jack! Ready! Left ball! Good ball, Josh. Good ball. Take it in. Good lad. Great work. Good lad. Carry down his shoulder. Down his shoulder. Look after him. Yeah. Go on. Yes. Good score. Right, Cam. Ready. Cam. Right. Your job, because you're playing like a fighter, right? Your job is whenever you see Kit, get out of the way of the ball and stay on his shoulder. So Kit's here, right? What I want you there is either there or there. Every time, right? Look for Kit and stand either side of him, get out of the way of the ball. Good luck.
It will take a while for us to get the hang of it, and there's nothing wrong with that, lads. Nothing wrong at all. Just starting to get into our stride there, Bibbs, weren't you? Eh? Just starting to get into your strides and trying to overload the same way, okay? Really good stuff. Once or twice, we got a little bit stuck. Coming back there, and I know Nathan's just had a word with Cam. When were we getting stuck, Kit? When were you getting stuck?
Out on the wings.
Yeah, so alright, okay, so you get to the wing and then you've got to come back.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
okay.
everyone was like clustered in. And it was hard to like get them back out.
Yeah.
And that's actually a key, if you're going to play this way, that's actually a key thing. If we've gone and exhausted all the space, you know, and you're defending shirts, which way are they going to go next? They've only got one way to go, haven't they? So actually, it makes it easier for the defence in many respects. So we've got to think about, when we've won that ball, how we then try and penetrate a strong defensive unit, haven't we? Okay, to get beyond the game line, and it does make it more difficult.
Right, just a couple of points. Don't be frozen by what the defence is doing. What we're doing here is overloading. So don't stand on the wing opposite your winger in attack because you're opposite him. If we overload and we're working around the fulcrum of kit, right, let's get our backsizing it, get round and overload it. We will, if we play this sort of system, have somebody steal a ball from us and they'll score on the other side. It'll happen, right? But if we're playing this way, we're going to be winning more ball and we're going to be driving forward. The other thing that I'd say, two things from this, sorry, is three things. Overload that side. These two, and Will and Alex, nobody gets in the way. You're not allowed in the way. Keep out of their way, right? The next thing is, if in doubt, which way do you go? If you're confused, you've got the ball, what do? You run in a straight line and you hit something, don't you? Yeah? So don't be afraid to take on that channel and to run at it. But in the meantime, keep these two completely open, yeah? And don't be afraid to overload, all right? Free yourself up a bit, don't stick in the same position.
Okay, so you can see when you get the ball, we're letting you keep the ball, okay, just to get used to the patterns. We're going to give the ball to the shirts now, let them have a run with it, okay. Just drop back 5.
Do a second line.
What do you want, Will? That's it, Will. Good lad. Good job. Well done. Right, what do you want, Will? That's beautiful. Will, you got to tell us. That's good, that's fine, Ben. That's a good move. Don't worry. Keep going. Right, Will, keep moving. That's fine, and again. That's fine. Get away. Up on that. Will, come out there. That's good, that's fine. And again. Okay. Try them, we'll give you that. Back on side, right? Ready, go! Left, again! Follow the ball! Long present, come on! Long present! Listen to Kim, this is what he's going to tell you to do. What do you want, Jack? Right, might need a big lad taking it on. Off we go, good. Okay, what are we doing? Somebody shouting. Tackle there! Right, Kit, shout, what do you want, mate? What do you want? Come get up! Okay. Don't forget, boys, we are in that middle third now, okay? So we're not going to kick, we're going to keep the ball. Keep running, boys. Right, let's defend, come on. That's good, Ben, good. Right, what do you want? Well, you've got to go the same way. You're fly half, Will. Get up. Tackle there. Get up. Yeah! Tackle there. Tackle there. Bring it right, boy. Get up. Get the open ball. Tackle. Right, Will, shout. What do you want, mate? Ollie. Okay. Right. All right, ready, up! Wait, a bit. Yeah. What's wrong? Right, we are all right. What we're going to do, one of you's going to take it one way, Kit's going to shout really loudly which way we go, and everybody's going to run to that speed. Yeah. That's all the organisation will do, right? So, let's give it to a big lad. You go straight, you set, Kit knows what's happening, you're on the ball. The rest of you, which way, if we're here, if Seb takes it in here, and Kit's here, which way do you want to go? That way. Right, so let's go. Even though they know what we're doing, let's do it. Run it in. Right, go! Right, that side, that's it. Right, now what we're doing. Take it right if you want, take it on if you want. Take the tackle if you need to.
Yeah, go on, right.
Right, now this way. Move. That's it, right, now somebody go fly off. Take it on, that's fine. Tackle there. Ready, up! That's it, you can't poach it. Get on side. Okay, no, that's right. Ready! Play!
Can you come? So we did say that middle third we've got to play with intensity. Right? So that's brilliant. And the other thing, defensively, you've all done it naturally yourselves. You've said nothing about defence, but you've all done it yourself. You've organised and you've started to get up and close down the space. And you're vociferous, getting in the faces and making it difficult for the boys to handle. Okay, keep that going. Brilliant. Okay, look. So that middle third is all about going the same way, keeping the pace high, keeping the intensity high, and then coming back. Once you've exhausted the space, come back the other way. So we all know where we're going, yeah? Okay? We'll keep going with that over the next 2-3 weeks so that it becomes second nature to us. Alright? What did we say about the last third? Because we're going to look at that now. So the
Scoring zone.
Scoring zone, thank you, Jack. What did we say about that?
Got to be direct.
Got to be more direct, we've got to keep the ball. Haven't we? Okay, so I'm going to just change the game this time. Still two-handed touch. If you get touched, you present the ball long again, but this time we need somebody right over the top, securing that ball, and then the scrum half is in to move the ball away. Okay? No, you can't compete. We just want to get you used to the patterns at the moment. Okay? And then as we become used to the patterns, we'll make it more competitive. Okay?
Still want us going the same way, Rob?
So, well, that actually is up to you now. All we're interested in is keeping the ball. You know, and you see a lot of sides do it these days when they're running the clock down to keep the ball. They just go zigzag, don't they? Left, right, left, right, left, right to keep the ball. Really, we want to get over the gain line, and ultimately the final gain line is the. What's the final gain line, Will? What do we want to do? Score. Okay. So long two-handed touch, long present, one over the ball for now, okay? And we might build that up. Any questions? Okay. Yeah. In fact, boys, just bring the cones all the way into the 22. We'll play up to the 22. Let's go back. Tackle there.
He's on George! Someone out!
Turn over. Touch ball. Up. Tackle there. Good. Try, let's go, we'll have that.
Go back.
Ready? Up! Again. We've got the ball and we want to keep it. We like throwing missed passes or shorter passes. You alright? You bad one?
Good, who's over? Well done, Jack.
Tackle! Get over!
Well done. Who's over? Well done, Jack.
Turn over! Shirts to me! Shirts play this one! Shirts play that one!
Go to ground.
Tackle!
Go to ground, Tom. Well done.
Good defence, Stubbline. Good defence.
Take it in.
Good pressure.
Okay, wait, just come in a minute, boys. Just come in.
Jack.
Okay, so there's now a change in mentality. Okay, so that middle third, we wanted that pace, we wanted that intensity. What do you think we want in this final third now? Do we want to be running around 100 miles an hour at pace and intensity? What do we want? We want to look after this ball, so what do we want?
Slow it down.
What's the word that we need? Slow it down to do what?
Get over the game line.
Control. We want to control this ball now, don't we? We want to be a lot more controlled in this last third, rather than throwing missed passes, you know, and wide passes and passes that don't go to hand. Let's just shorten it all together, get closer together, and keep the ball. That's all we want to do. We want to keep the ball, because if we keep it and keep going forward, we will score. We're now in that last third where that control is required. Okay.
Ralph, can I just say, who do you guys think at that point, when we've got a ruck or more set up and we're in the attacking zone, who is the person that starts to dictate what happens? Who should be making the decisions? Fly half or scrum half. Right. So when we get the ball presented and we know it's secure, do you have to rush the ball away from the base? No. So what we can do is make sure we're ready and only have the ball kit when you want it. Yeah. Sometimes it'll be yeah, go. But if you want to just stand there and wait and judge, you do that. Slow the game down. That's control. Yeah. Don't go like headless chickens. You got to scream loudly and say, no Jack, hold Jack, hold Jack, hold Jack, hold Jack, or whatever. And you do the same, will, yeah? So let's get that control.
Absolutely, and in addition to that, boys, we've had a couple of occasions here, both sides, where people were slow to get to the breakdown, right? And what's happened in those occasions? Alex, what did you do just down here? I think you did it once, Jack.
I just made somebody have a
Right, so what if somebody's not there? What do you do, Jack, Alex? You've got to get there first, haven't you? So don't wait for somebody to come and pull them in. You're actually going to look after that ball, that priority, because he may get there too late. They may get a hand on it and steal it. Yeah? Okay? Okay, so a bit more control. Let's go again. We'll start over there, boys. Okay, well.
Get closer.
Tackle there.
Take him on defensive line, let's look. That's good.
Pressure there, man!
Wow.
Ready up! Up! Yeah, he's good! Right there! Outside me! It's alive! Ready up! Get William!
Tackle!
No way!
Now, Will, you don't have to.
Up!
Well done.
Tackle!
Get over, Jack, get over, well done.
Yeah, nice. Good run, nice.
Okay, change it over.
Off we go, guys. Right, let's go. Good gap.
Tackle there, tackle!
He's not here,
Okay, I need a
He's not here, Ready up! Come on, George. I'm with you, George, I'm with you.
Tackle!
Sam, do it as a fly off. Do it as a fly off.
Ready up!
Tackle!
Fly off.
Over, kick!
That's good defence, lad. You'll be the receiver. Hands on the side. Run it in. Good lad. Good lad. I like that. Right, which way do you want to go? That's it.
Ready up!
Good.
Okay, go to ground.
Okay, what have we got on? Let's have a look. This will be his answer. Yes. Good. Good. Well done, Cam.
Well done, George.
Okay, that was really good, Bibbs. Right at the end there, showed a bit of control. You actually went left and right, which is fine. You know, we don't have to in this final third. We don't have to keep going the same way. Just go wherever it's easier for us, where we've got more men. Right? You had one spell there where you defended really well, put pressure on, and you were struggling. Why were you struggling, do you think, to make ground? Cam, I think you took it in. Seb, you took it in. Why were you struggling to actually make ground? So what were you doing when you took the ball? Stood still. Yeah, okay. So if we get that control and we can decide when that ball's coming out from the base, instead of taking the ball stood, let's run onto it. Okay? And it's just a little flat ball. It doesn't have to be a fast one. It's just a little pop flat ball, and somebody can run nicely onto the ball at a bit of pace with a bit of momentum, and suddenly we're over that gain line again. Yeah?
Just an observation, lads. There was a couple of times there where Jack got caught into the ruck. Kit took over as scrum half. So is Kit always fly half? Who then takes over responsibility? Whoever is nearest that position. They have to take the responsibility, even if you're front row, whatever. You take the responsibility, you make a decision that we release him. So if you find yourself there, you don't know what to do, take the ball, keep it secure, and we can get him out. Alright? So don't hesitate, take the role of the first receiver if you find yourself there.
Okay. Right. 5 more minutes.
Spread out.
Right, come on guys, it's tense now, really lift it. Really lift it. Let's have some dominant voices, let's start talking.
Don't back away, boys. Yes. Tackle.
That's good.
Take it in. Right, get close. Tom, get now.
Good voices, up. Tackle. Play, Ollie. Right side, defensive.
Good job.
You
Shout for it, Tom. Shout for it, Tom. Great, Tom Bowden.
Right, come back in the same set. That's it, good defence. That's it, Seth. Right, come back again. Keep coming back. Keep coming back. Pick a man anyone and run at him. That's it, right, tackle there, tackle there. That's good, that's really good.
Well done, Ben.
Tackle there. Okay. Ali. Good choice, right. Good defence, good defence.
Okay, we're just going to change it slightly, Jack. Just going to change it slightly now. Okay, so it is two-handed touch still, long present. Now, you can compete for the ball. One person only, compete for the ball, make it more difficult for them, okay?
Line. Spread. Get over that ball, yeah? Get over
Right.
the ball.
Good.
George, go over!
Tackle there.
Come on, Ben.
Ready.
Jack, get it! Get the ball! Jack!
Wait.
Out there!
Take a man. Well played. Good.
Emma, we're in the scoring zone.
Right there.
Jack, I'm going to get that out.
Right, come on, let's go.
Nice. Tackle. Right, okay, so come on,
Will.
Will, offside. Oh, quick, hands on the ball. Right,
Why are you offside there, Will? What's up? Tackle.
right, who's first to Steve? Good. Oh.
Yellow card.
He's off, he's having a breather.
I'm just going to have a look at the video replay.
Ready, up!
Tackle.
Get over. Come on, Ollie. Ball's there for you.
That's good, Cam.
Callum, well done.
Get it, George!
Seb, come closer. Ready to take the ball from the front. That's it.
Just a nice tackle. Nice easy pass. Run onto the ball, Seb.
That's good.
Tackle. Don't stand, Seb. Run onto it. Run onto it.
Pressure.
Tackle.
Good, Ben. Looking good.
Tackle.
That's not yours.
Good. Only one, boys. Only one.
Go forward. Good lad.
Tackle.
Go to ground.
Score it, boys. Score it.
Overlap!
Great
Yeah,
pressure.
well done, Cam.
Well played.
Camo's great support.
That's good.
Brilliant.
That was a great run then, Seb.
Good control, boys. Tom in the action, yeah?
Guys, defense up quick.
Look after the ball. Look after the ball.
Tackle there.
Tackle that one on Ben. Get defending, boys.
Do a flat and let it roll away.
Right, boys, two of you there. Are you marking anyone? Sam, who are you marking? Right, push over there. Push over.
Turn over. Now we're defending.
Push over. That's it. Now we're attacking. Let's go.
Well across the line.
Shots to me. Clear. Tackle. That's it. Make sure you go through the gate, Ben. Make sure you go through the gate. Tackle it.
George, hands
Take it in, Sam. Tackle it.
Good. Right, he needs some help, lads. He needs some help. Good play, Jeff. Well played. On lines.
Tackle. Hit it, Fred. Yes. On a post. When he comes, Sam.
Come on, long game, Jack.
Yes, sir.
Right, they're bunched. Okay, on lines.
That's good stuff, that. Really good. I think you're training really well tonight, boys. Just a couple of things on that last one. If we've got people and we're trying to get across the game line and we've asked you to run on to the ball at pace, what can we do as the passer of the ball to make it easy for you. You're running here at pace. You're running here, you're trying to get past the game line. I'm on your side. You're coming at pace, go on. What can I do to make it easy for you? Or what can I do to make it difficult for you? Drop, float pass.
That's right.
Can I fire it at you? Okay, so just think about the type of passes that you make. You've got good decisions to make. They're over whether you make a hard and fast pass, a spin pass, or whether you're just going to make a little pop pass. Okay? That was one point.
Sorry, but if you're the first man at the breakdown, so your teammate has gone to ground, done a long gate, sometimes you were getting rucked off, the opposition man coming in, you were getting rucked off. What can you do to make yourself more secure?
Grab onto your floor.
That's right. Get a grip of their shirt. If you're stepped over and they're taking a contact, it's much more difficult for them to ruck you off the ball. Okay? If you're the first man there, get a grip of it. Yeah?
That's the point I was going to make. And one person in particular on the shirt side was causing lots of problems for us because he was in a better body position than us. What do I mean by that?
Lower.
Lower power.
Maybe Ben. Yeah. All right. Okay. Last 5 minutes, guys.
Really intense.
Last 5 minutes. Keep the intensity, keep the control.
Keep running. Let's go, we're on. We're on. Tackle. Stay right. Straight, good lad. Tackle there. Right, now we got options. Right, we need you back. Good work. Great run. Right, let's go. Tackle. Whoa. Back here.
Turn over, turn and face.
That's good. Right, who's with him? Right, set it again. Right, good for you then, so it's looking good. Do the same again, set it up. How many there? Good. Right, what else have we got now? Turn over. What are you doing? Hard line. Right, that's good running, Seb. I like it. Tackle, get with him. Right, where's our defence? Who's marking on the left? Good challenge. Tackle. Right, who's marking? Who's your man? Great, Tom Bowden. Tackle there. Just needs to score it. Ben. That'll do, Ben. Good. Right, big intensity. That's coming in. Come on. Oh, good running, Josh. Yes. Right, now we set up. We're straight to corner. Camera and fly off.
Look at inside.
Lovely. Seb, you got to come closer. Come closer. You might get a run. Play it. Tackle.
Go on the right.
Close. Right, he's going to give you a run now. Get there. Go and run straight. Good lad. Don't present. Right. Go right. Come on, get there. Cam. Good decision. Okay, guys, just come in there.
Robbie?
Boys, do you know what? Fantastic training session. Really impressed with the way that you listened and really impressed with the intensity and everything that you've done there. Just one final point while we're here. Just in that last session, it was quite evident in those last phases. How should we be presenting the ball, Ben? Long. What do we mean by long, Josh? Just tell us what we mean by long. You're playing that way. No. All right. Yeah. Okay. So north-south. Yeah. Feet facing north, head facing south. Now, quite a few times we didn't get into that position, right? So we were laying across quite a few times. It just opens the gate up, doesn't it? So lie across. So the gate, when we're lying that way, now, if I want to come and steal that ball, I don't have to come all the way around here, which I would have done if his feet were here. I can actually just go across here like this and steal that ball, the shortest way, okay? Now, and you did it a couple of times, Seb, when you presented. What can we do? Right, you've been tackled, you're not in the right position. What are we allowed to do to make it easier? Move on the floor. Okay, so if you get yourself into a position where you're not presenting properly, you're across, you can make positive movements to get that ball back in the right position. Suddenly, if I thought I could steal it, now I can't. I've got to come all the way around here and enter this way to get anywhere near the ball. Okay? So just, we can help ourselves. Rippon, if you watch the way Rippon presented the ball, every single one of them on their side look to work on the floor and work hard. Okay? We can do that and make it easy for ourselves. But that structure that we've just played there, we're going to bring into the way we play on a match day, and we'll get better and better. We'll learn the structure, and then we'll start making it more competitive in training and bring it into a game. Okay? Is everybody happy with what you've done tonight, and you're comfortable with what you've learned? Well,
Does it make sense, lads? Yeah. Can you see how in a game like last Sunday it would make a difference to you? Yeah. So what? This Sunday, I think you haven't got a game, is that right?
Training Sunday.
So let's get everybody down. Let's get everybody down. Let's work through not just this, but we'll start to do a bit of positional stuff maybe. Yeah? So let's get all our buddies down.
any of your mates who aren't down tonight, get them down on Sunday, and we'll keep this going, because it really will help us on a Saturday or a Sunday. So really help us. Right, well done tonight, boys.
No, that's good. Well done, boys.
Can you get the codes in, boys, please? Thank you. All of you grab a code.